Your mind never stops. It is 3 in the morning, and you are lying in bed, replaying a conversation you had 6 years ago with someone who probably forgot it the next day. You are reading a text message over and over, trying to figure out what they really meant. You are rehearsing arguments that have not happened yet, planning apologies for things you have not done. And the worst part is not the thinking. The worst part is that you cannot stop. You have tried. You have told yourself to just let it go. And every single time, your brain responds by thinking about why you cannot stop thinking. And nobody sees it, because on the outside you look fine. But inside your skull there is a war happening, and you have been fighting it alone for as long as you can remember. If that just described the inside of your head, stay here, because this is going to tell you something about yourself that no one has ever told you before. His name is Shoya. Shoya could turn a single moment into 100 different realities. Someone would say something casual like, "We need to talk later," and within 10 seconds, his brain had already written 5 different catastrophic versions of that conversation. By the time the actual conversation happened, which was usually something simple and meaningless, Shoya had already emotionally lived through a disaster that never existed, and he was exhausted. Not the kind that sleep fixes, the kind that sits behind your eyes and makes everything heavier than it should be. People told him he worried too much, and every time they said it, he felt shame, because he knew they were right. He knew it was irrational, but knowing that did not stop it. And the fact that he could see how irrational it was, but still could not control it, made him feel like something was broken inside him. But here is what nobody ever explained to Shoya, and probably what nobody has ever explained to you. You do not overthink because something is wrong with your brain. You overthink because at some point in your life, your brain learned that the world was not safe, that people could not be trusted to say what they meant, that love could be taken away without warning, and your brain decided the best way to protect you was to prepare you for everything, every outcome, every threat, every worst-case scenario. The problem is the system never turns off. When Shoya traced it back, he did not find one dramatic event. He found something quieter, a childhood where the emotional weather changed without warning, a mother who could be warm one moment and cold the next. He never knew which version he was getting, so his brain started trying to predict everything, reading every face, analyzing every word, because if he could figure out what was coming, maybe he could prepare, maybe he could survive. That is where the overthinking was born, not in adulthood, in the living room of his childhood home, in the gap where safety should have been, but consistency was not. Overthinking is not a personality flaw. It is a survival strategy developed by a child who could not afford to be caught off guard. And it worked. It kept you alert and perceptive, and capable of reading a room better than anyone in it. But they do not see the cost. Your emotional intelligence was not a gift. It was a tax. You paid for it with peace of mind. Here is the part that changes everything. The thing your brain is constantly preparing you for is not a future event. It is a past feeling. You are not anxious about tomorrow. You are still reacting to yesterday. You just do not know it. Shoya discovered this at 26. Someone he was dating texted him 3 simple words: "Good night, I love you." And he stared at his phone for 45 minutes. Not because he doubted them, because his brain could not accept something that simple. What if they do not mean it? What if tomorrow they change their mind? What if I let myself believe this and then lose it? And sitting there in the dark, he realized something he had never put into words. He was not afraid of being hurt. He was afraid of being safe, because safety was unfamiliar. Love without conditions was the most terrifying thing his nervous system had ever encountered. You think you are protecting yourself from pain, but you are actually protecting yourself from peace, because peace requires surrender. And the last time you surrendered, when you were small and had no choice but to trust, that trust was not rewarded. So you learned to grip, to monitor, to think until you covered every angle. Not because you wanted to, because letting go felt like falling. And the last time you fell, no one caught you. But hear this, the thinking is not protecting you anymore. It protected you then, when you were small and powerless. It saved you, but you are not in that environment anymore. The alarm system that saved you then is now keeping you from the peace you deserve now. You are not broken. You are not crazy. You are not too much. You are someone whose brain learned to survive in chaos, and now that the chaos is over, your brain does not know how to stop surviving. That is not a flaw. That is a wound, and wounds can heal. So tonight, when the thoughts start, instead of fighting them, say one thing to yourself: I know why you are doing this, and I am safe now. Somewhere inside your mind, there is a part of you that has been on guard for years. It has never once been told that the watch is over, that the war ended a long time ago, and nobody told it. Tell it now. The overthinking saved your life once, but it is not your life. It is just the armor you built when you were too young to know you deserved softness instead of steel. You deserve softness now. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. You just learned to think your way through a world that should have held you instead. And you do not have to think your way through it alone anymore. Not anymore.